I'm going to tell you an acronym. That's going to make your wiener bigger. Now, I know some of you are like, oh, this video is weird. Why are you talking about this? You're watching right now, so clearly you don't think it's weird. But with that being said, the acronym is HEFA. Hormones, exercise, food, and attraction. HEFA. H-E-F-A. HEFA will make your wiener bigger. So hormones, first thing. H. I made a video about hormones, the testosterone guide, Vanquish Your Testosterone. I made that video, you should watch it. It's going to give you a full guide, it's like 35 minutes, fully in depth. But I'm going to go over some key points here, alright? First, sun. You need to get the sun every single day. And when you go out, you should have your shirt off, even if you live in an area where the sunlight is covered by clouds. Right? Like right now, it's I live in Florida, so I would get plenty of sun, but right now it's cloudy. Even now, there's still sun outside. Because it's light outside. Where does the light come from? The sun. Okay, the sun's still showing down on your geographic location of the earth. When you go outside, take off your shirt. Expose your chest and your back. These are the places that get the most test or vitamin D, whatever the hell it is. I forgot what the study said. And also do your balls. I recommend doing your balls. Now, I know some people are like, it's funny because I just actually debated a verification just a little bit. It's like, do you have empirical evidence that sunning your balls actually works? I have personal experience, and I believe there was a study that showed like a massive increase, but that's a very old study. It hasn't really been corroborated, but I don't care. Okay? When I go outside, I sun my balls, it feels good. And I get positive benefits afterwards. So sun your balls. Don't get charged with indecent exposure, okay? Don't be a retard. Alright? But if you can't do your balls for whatever reason, do your chest and your back at the very least. So sun, first thing, very, very important. Do not miss out on the sun. I do recommend taking vitamin D. That does help. But don't use that excuse to not go outside. Look at the nerds who don't go outside. You think they can get it up? No, they can't. And by the way, I probably should have mentioned it earlier. This isn't necessarily... There's actually something to go over at the very, very end that might be able to, but in general... The most modest and truthful claim I can make is that this will help you reach your maximum potential, especially if you're still going through puberty. But even if you're after puberty, this will help you reach your max potential. It won't necessarily, you're not going to go from like 2 inches to 10. All right, bro, be realistic. Next, lift weights. As far as remember, we're on hormones right now. Lift weights and don't skip the legs. Because when you train legs, you get your growth hormone, you get your testosterone, all the good stuff, right? Legs are very important. Do not skip leg day. Right? And also helps with your blood flow, which again, remember, blood flow helps you get it up. Now, next, that's very simple. Lift heavy weights. You don't need me to make a whole... I made a video about working out. You should watch that. But you know what lifting weights means, all right? Next, BPA and plastic in general. As I've said on this channel before, don't fall for the BPA-free scam. They say, "Oh, look at this carton, look at this juice box here." I'm using a screwdriver as a juice box. It's BPA-free. Then you pull out the AJ move and you open up the juice box inside out, and then you have this lining on it. If it's BPA-free, this lining is probably made up of BPS or BPF. And guess what? Those are the same exact thing as BPA, essentially. They have the same exact negative downsides. But it's not technically BPA, so they can call it BPA-free. Don't fall for BPA-free. If you fall for BPA-free, you're a meme. All right? Don't be a meme. Next, sleep. So this actually goes back to sunlight. As soon as you wake up, you should be looking at the sun. And don't blind yourself. Okay, don't be stupid, but sun gaze, as Illuminati would put it. I wonder what's up with him. Last time I saw he was bald, but that was like a year and a half ago. Anyways, I want to get sunlight. I want to look in the sky and get some sun in your eyes. Like I said, don't be a retard, but general, sun. And it'll help reset your circadian rhythm, help you get some energy. It helps your body know, hey, it's time to wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. The sun is out. We're awake now. And it also helps you go to bed later. And sleep in general, I'm going to make a whole video about sleep, actually. But as far as improving your sleep, you kind of know the basics. Circadian rhythm, don't look at blue light at the end of the day. If you have a computer, because blue light is the natural showing of your screen. I was going to get my phone, but I'm using my phone to record. When you get your phone, if you have no settings turned on, it's going to be blue light. And in the morning, I would still say it's bad in the morning. I have a blue light filter on 24/7, except for when I'm editing things where I need to see the colors. But 24/7, I use blue light filters. And I think because it's good for your eyes, right? It's bad for your eyes to be looking at blue light 24/7. But especially at nights, because that will disrupt your circadian rhythm and sleep. When your eyes see blue light, it thinks, oh, it's daytime, so I'm not going to create melatonin. which is what you need to go to sleep, and all the other stuff that your body does need to go to sleep. It's going to disrupt the process. So what you got to do is you get f.lux on your computer. It's going to have a blue light filter on. Your screen's going to look orange. Once you get used to it, don't worry about it. If you have an iPhone, there's a blue light setting on there, etc. No excuse to be looking at blue light, all right? You have all the stuff. You can even get glasses, right? And also, what else about sleep? Have a wind down period. Don't be raging on your Discord calls before bed. Read a book, read the Bible before you go to bed. I think you want to be in a low stress environment, which I actually will segue nicely into the next point. Be in a low stress environment. It will be very important for you to watch my videos about addictions, because stress, I think, really stems from poor mental health, which comes from your vices and your addictions, which I've made videos about, particularly phone addiction, social media, explicit content, and video games. These three things make up poor mental health the majority of the time, I believe. So I see people that have poor mental health, they're always addicted to at least one of these three, but usually all three. These vices directly take away from true happiness, which would lead you to stress. You don't want stress. Stress is bad for your hormones, because remember, we're talking about hormones right now. Stress is bad for your hormones. It's also bad for your sleep, which is also bad for your hormones. So it's a double whammy, if you will. Double whammy. Never thought I would say that on this YouTube channel. But yeah. Want to be in a low stress environment. You want to be calm. You want to be chill. Okay, if meditating helps, do that. If you have a bunch of thoughts in your head, like you're a bit traumatized, I'm not going to make a joke about that. I was going to make a joke about like dads, doing bad stuff to their kids, but not like that stuff, but like just but I'm not gonna make that joke because I feel like that's a bit too far even for me. Even for me, that's a bit far. Okay, just a little bit too far, even for me. Okay, so on a serious note, if you actually do have some issues, I do recommend journaling. So if you have a lot of stuff in your head, a lot of traumatic experiences, if you want to go I'm not a fan of therapy, but if that helps you, if you go there and I think it helps, go ahead. If you want people to talk to, you can join my server. You'll be able to talk to some people there. I'm actually being serious here. For once, I'm not being facetious. You get a Notion or you get a notepad or Google Doc and just write down all your thoughts. That will really help you clear out your head. Okay. Now, lower your body fat too. Okay, as your body fat stores and creates estrogen. Bet you didn't know that. That's why a lot of fat people have man titties. They got boobs. That's why Bill Gates has boobs. He's fat. So you have a bunch of estrogen, and estrogen, you get a bunch of estrogen, your body thinks, oh, I'm a girl, and just grows breasts. You don't want that. Okay? You're a man. You're not supposed to have boobs. Now, clothing. Don't wear polyester. Polyester is BPA or some other plastics or whatever. Especially in your underwear, you don't want your balls to be scrunched up in a bunch of BPA plastics and polyester. But I'm not one of these people who say, whoa, if you change your underwear to some cotton underwear instead of polyester plastic underwear, then you're going to have a 10,000% testosterone increase. No, it's a minor thing. But remember, all these minor things, although some of the things I would say are major, like getting the sun, that's major. But there's all these little things like avoiding BPA, the plastics in your clothing, just a little amount of stress, like all this stuff adds up, and after it adds up, it becomes consequential. Okay, so that's hormones. Again, I have a full testosterone guide, and I have the videos about quitting addictions. There's gonna be a link in the description to must-watch videos for Christian men. In that playlist, those videos are there. But for now, those are the key points. Now I'm going to talk about exercise. The E in HEFA, number HEFA. Always remember HEFA. So, two things. Kegels and breathing. Now, if you don't know what a Kegel is, I'm going to explain it in a way no one else has explained it. Okay, this is how you do a Kegel. So, usually it's very confusing because they talk about Kegels and it's like, what the hell are they talking about? But, okay, you have your balls here, all right? No, this is a human. The balls are here. Then you have the backside, the glutes, right? And you know what I'm talking about. I'm not trying to say the full word. Then that in-between area, that is your pelvic floor. All right, this is where the sun doesn't shine. This is where you get those annoying hairs, okay? You better shave them. It's nasty if you don't. Okay, you have that. Now try flexing that. I'm doing it right now. Now you're doing a Kegel. And the way to really be able to, activate it is When you go to the next time you go to the bathroom, you go to pee. Stop your pee. Like you're peeing and then stop it. That feeling, that's exactly what a Kegel is. Now, don't do that too much. Do it once, only once, because if you do it too much, you can get like a UTI, and that's disgusting. But that's going to help you figure out, okay, this is how a Kegel works. Then you'll be able to replicate the movement. And also, I would say, because I've seen some people talk about it and say these things are both Kegels, but to me, it's like two different things. I feel two different muscles working. So I would say Kegels and, I don't know, like neo-pseudo Kegels. So, you know when you get an erection and it goes boy oing, right? You want to keep it on boy. Don't let it go oing oing oing. Just let it go boing. And keep it there. Just, you know the feeling. Just keep it as long as possible. Just keep doing that over and over again. It's like working out your manhood. Working out your wiener. Working out that wiener dog. All right? And also do that because you realize if you get good at it, which I have, you kind of realize the difference between doing a Kegel and doing what I just told you. There's two different things. Like right now, I'm doing a Kegel. Like right now, it's very I'm doing a Kegel, but I'm not doing the boy-oing. I'm not doing the boying. Okay, two different things. Now, we're going to talk about, breathing. So, you want to breathe through your nose, all right? I know in the video about glowing up I made, which is also a great video, you should watch it, I talked about mouth breathing, how that's bad for you, but we all know that as far as facial aesthetics go. But it's also bad for you in general because your nose is designed to breathe, okay? That's why you have hairs in your nose. Your hairs in your nose are like a filter. Your nose is like a filter. It's an air filter. You know those machines, and that might be too grand of a word to put it, but I guess it's a machine in some sense, right? And you change the filters in it, you turn it on, and it like filters the air, right? You know, and you take it out, and it's full of dust and whatever. Yeah, that's basically your nose. When you breathe through your mouth, you're bypassing your filter, which means the air you breathe is going to be a lot lower quality. Also, your mouth just feels dry. You're going to look like an incel. There's nothing good about it. But also, when you breathe through your nose, you create nitric oxide, which I'm talking a bit more about later, but nitric oxide helps your blood flow. And remember, to get it up to boing, I didn't plan to keep just calling it boing, but I guess I am. Right? To make it go boing, you need blood. Blood fills it up. Now, if you know, some people need some extra blood, and it's a bit hard to, sustain it. So, if you're in that position, if you know, then that's very important you do. All right, now, food. So I made a video about diet because I make videos about everything. Okay, if you watch me, you're literally gonna know everything about the universe. Okay, but I made a diet video. But again, I'm gonna go over some key points here as far as this goes. Right, this HEFA, the F in HEFA is for food. This also directly affects your hormones, and I guess it affects everything else as well, doesn't it? Because it all stems from your mental health, right? And food directly affects your mental. Now, hydration. You need to drink water. Like I'm basically out of water, unfortunately. I want to drink more water in this video, but I'm trying to ration it because I don't feel like pausing and then going up and getting more water. So, a little sip. I have one sip left. All right, let's see if that lasts the whole video. Hydration. Because hydration helps with your blood flow. If you're dehydrated, if you notice like you're super dehydrated, like that SpongeBob episode where he's like, I don't need it. Right, if you're like that, I know you felt how that feels before, where you're just super dehydrated. You may realize you're not really able to get it up. And you're also not able to get gym pumps either. Because hydration is necessary for blood flow. And also it's going to help you, create a bigger explosion once the volcano erupts. Oh, God. I hope none of my family watches this video. Oh, man. Anyways. All right, now fat and cholesterol. So fat and cholesterol will directly lead to testosterone because your body needs cholesterol and fat to create testosterone. Don't fall for the BS where it's like, oh, well, cholesterol is bad for you. Those people are retarded. Cholesterol is used for testosterone. The reason why they keep cholesterol away from you is because they don't want you to have enough testosterone to be an actual man. Same thing goes for fat. Although fat's looked at favorably now, but for a while, you're like, yeah, well, a low-fat diet's the way to go. You have to eat a bunch of carbs and a little bit of protein. That's literally the worst diet possible. Now, junk food. I'm not gonna talk about this for more than 30 seconds because what's bad for you. You know what's junk food. You know McDonald's is bad for you. You know Burger King's bad for you. You know all this stuff. You don't need me to tell you. All right? I'm not going to hold your hand through that. Now, fasting. So I believe there is It's so funny to use the word empirical evidence because I was just talking to a verificationist. If you don't know, that's like, a worldview. That, talking about God and whatnot. He doesn't believe in God. He's an atheist because he's verificationist, etc. I'm not going to get too far into it, but basically everything relies on empirical evidence. So we're one of these nerds out here like, well, where's the empirical evidence for, fasting, creating more testosterone and growth hormone? I believe there actually is. I know there is certainly for fasting, for growth hormone, but I'm not sure about testosterone. I do think there is, if I recall correctly, but even if there isn't, I notice a tangible benefit from fasting. Okay, and fasting simply just means at least 16 hours between dinner and your next meal. So what's the time? Because I do 20 hours, so it's like I eat my first meal at 2 and dinner at 6. It kind of varies a little bit, like sometimes 3 and 7 or sometimes even 3 and 6, but 2 and 6, that's 20 hours. I don't know. I think 12 and 6 is 16 hours. That's the minimum. 16 hours. That's the minimum you want to do. I would say 20 is optimal based on my experience. Now, as far as diet goes for specifically blood flow, which is what you need, remember, to go boing, you need blood, right? Especially if you need extra blood, all right? This is the same thing that will give you good pumps in a gym, although I'm not a gym bro that enjoys the pump that much. I mean, it's nice, but it's not like, wow, I got a pump. Things like L-citrulline, L-carnitine, nitric oxide, or supplements out there. I would just get some powder supplements, L-citrulline, L-carnitine, nitric oxide. I think caffeine helps, if I recall correctly. Maybe not, actually, because it dehydrates you. Does it help? I think it might. I'm not sure. I know they use caffeine in pre-workout supplements, but I'm not sure if that might just be for the energy. But that's what I recall. I used to make a big, drink that was good for blood flow, but I just remember like L-carnitine, L-citrulline, nitric oxide. Those are the most important things. Find supplements that have those. Now, we're going to move to the A and HEFA. If you want more information about food, watch the diet video, but we're going to move to the A and HEFA. Attraction. Now, this might actually be one of the most important things. This might actually be the most important. Because I would think, if you had some dude who was stranded in the middle of the desert for like 90 days and he was barely alive, he had no water, basically no water. He had just enough water to survive, basically no food, he wasn't doing Kegels or whatever. If there was a really hot chick in front of him, he would still get it up. So A, attraction is the most important. Like, you tell me. I think he would still be able to get it up, no matter how bad things were going. He would still be like, oh, it's up. But number one rule for improving A, HEFA, attraction: no explicit content. I know I made a video about quitting it. It's a very important video because I know a lot of people my age, I'm 17 right now, people who are younger, suffer from this problem. And it is a problem because this directly gives you ED, which is the opposite of HEFA, erectile dysfunction. You won't have erectile function. You want EF, HEFA. All right, you don't want ED. And it gives you it because you basically can't get stimulated. You've seen after a while, because actually video content, this explicit content actually releases more dopamine in your head than actually being with a girl, which is kind of crazy to think about, but I guess it just happens so quickly. I don't know. But yeah, I'm just thinking right now about, God, I was down bad, man. But basically your attraction to girls gets completely messed up because at the start, because you know how it is, okay? If you stop for a little bit and then you just looked at a TikTok of some girl, I don't know, bouncing her boobs around, right? That would be enough. That would be more than enough. But you do that for a week, it's not going to be enough. Now you're going to need something else. And something else, and something else, something else. And over time, to be stimulated, you need to be watching some really weird stuff. You may ask the question of like, well, how do people, get into looking at people doing really weird stuff to each other, like peeing. I'm just going to say the word pee. I'm not going to actually, the letter P. I'm not talking about that P. That's disgusting. Just the letter P, of course. But how do people get into the letter P? and stuff doing with the letter P. That's disgusting. That's gross. It's because of this. They've watched so much content that this stuff doesn't satisfy them anymore. So now they get to the extreme. And unfortunately, this is a cycle that never ends. So if you want motivation to quit, okay, if you want to have an actual reason to quit, and that's one reason right there. Do you want to be the person watching those type of videos? No. You should stop them. That's where it'll lead eventually. But in any case, when it comes to actually seeing girls, right, if you haven't seen any explicit content, you haven't been looking at girls or whatever, even a girl, if you're someone who watches explicit content regularly, even a mid girl will get you up if you haven't watched explicit content, if you haven't looked at anything like that. Even a mid girl get you up. But if you on this explicit content binge, even a hot girl won't even be able to get you up. Because it's not explicit content. It's just not extreme enough. It's not novel. It's what our brain wants. Our brain wants to be aroused. If you've been watching all this content, your brain's not going to get aroused by just a girl in front of you, an actual girl. But thankfully, after even saying all this, it's you reset your attraction very quickly. Give it a few weeks of not looking at explicit content, you're going to be fine. So it's paramount. If you're in that situation, you watch my video about explicit content and how to quit. Okay? Very, very important. Like, A is, like I said, is most important in HEFA. And also think about your mindset, okay? Now, this is bro science. This is often an assumption, but, if you're a low testosterone soy boy, then I have a feeling it's going to be harder to get it up. And when I say low testosterone soy boy, I mean mindset, not necessarily actual hormone, because, obviously, if your hormones are actually low, then hormonal profile is actually low, then it'll be hard to get up. But I mean more so the mindset. Like, people are like, oh, well, I'm very liberal. I like to, I don't think men should dominate women. I think they're both completely equal in all regards. I believe in egalitarianism. I want a woman to dominate me. If you're one of those type of people, I think it's going to be hard to get it up. Because think about it. Contrast that person with the person who's like, I dominate women. I get in bed and I take charge. And I just, I don't mean actually, punching them, but I mean like, figuratively giving them the due. Yeah, that's not the most flattering clip, is it? Someone's going to clip that and it's not going to look too good. Don't beat women, okay? Unless they ask for it. But even then, be careful. All right, let me stop. All right. But anyways, you have two people with a different mindset, okay? Which one do you think is going to have an easier time getting it up? I would wager the second person. If you don't agree with me, then I don't know what to tell you. Do you have any empirical evidence for that? No, I don't. Suck my balls. Outside of my subjective reality. So I'm quickly going to go over incel exercises, because incels have been researching this, and I'm going to tell you to do these things at your own risk. Okay? HEFA, this isn't a part of HEFA. HEFA is everything I just told you. HEFA is going to help you a lot. Now, but you can do these things, and you can look them up, research them. I'm not telling you to do it, because I don't know if there's downsides or whatever. I haven't needed to do it. I haven't wanted to do it, because I'm not going to get into that. I would actually like to be able to use my... Anyways. It's got to be able to fit in, because if it's whatever. Incel exercises, so stretching. So you may ask, how do I know about these things? I looked on incel forums, and I gathered up whatever useful information they had, and I got the hell out of there. All right? If you watch my old channel, you would know about this. But they were talking about you can only stretch it or something. If you do some stretching exercise, it would help. And apparently some people got results, and also jelqing. So it helps you get more blood flow in there. Again, do it at your own risk. Or a pump. I think there's a pump thing you could use. I've heard that thing works. But again, at your own risk. I don't know if any of these things work. Okay? I don't even know if they lead to negative consequences. Alright? But in any case, that's the incel exercises. I just told you you watch this video, you take what this video has said, and you apply it, you're going to have a bigger wiener. HEFA is going to give you a bigger wiener. Now, if you want to join this movement, and you may wonder, how could this be about Christianity? Listen, bro. We're men. I think wanting a bigger manhood, assuming you don't already have you aren't already doing fine in that regard, is a masculine trait. Let's just be honest, okay? That's what men want. Men, we want bigger wieners. We want big wieners. I don't make the rules, I only tell you the rules, okay? And this is about building back Christian men. And part of that is being masculine, okay? We want good wood to lay down when we get in a relationship. I really hope my family never watches this video. This is so bad. Oh, God, dude. All right, anyways. If you want to join the movement, link in the description to the Discord. Follow me on Instagram, like my post so my Instagram looks better. Subscribe to the channel for future videos, and go to my website. Give me your email so I can send you newsletters. Those are my call to actions. See you in the next video.